Welcome to the Business Blast Podcast. I'm your host, Tyler Wagner. This episode is brought to you by Authors Unite. Authors Unite provides you with the support you need to finish your book. Best part is, after you finish your book, they take care of the entire publishing and marketing process 100% for you. So, if you want to become a successful author, make sure to check out authorsunite.com. Now, let's jump into the episode. All right, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Business Blast Podcast. I'm your host, Tyler Wagner. Today I have Spencer Peters with us. He is a teacher turned EdTech headhunter that has been placing top talent at growing tech companies for the past few years. So welcome to the show, man.
Thanks for having me on, Tyler.
Of course, man. Grateful to have you here. Let's jump into the first one. The first one I have for you is, what is the best story from your life that has an underlying valuable message?
Underlying valuable message. Actually, we're going to go for a new one. I actually just found out 3 weeks ago that my dad has cancer, and it has thrown me for a loop. And I think being here in Colorado, where the whole family lives out in Indiana, I'm living this kind of remote support life. And I think, as most people on this podcast would know, when you have a problem in front of you, the entrepreneurs and the folks want to go and solve it as fast and quickly as they can to help everybody around them. And sometimes with this medical emergency stuff, there is no problem that you can solve directly. And I guess the underlying theme or message I'm trying to learn, which is part of this because I don't have everything figured out, is sometimes you can't solve the problem right away, and you need to be part of the support network while the problem does hopefully get solved eventually. And so what's on top of my mind right now is that it's not always the fastest thing to solve a problem, is where I'll go with that.
Yeah, man. I'm very sorry to hear that as well.
Yeah, no worries. Sorry to go that way to begin the podcast.
No, dude, not at all, man. No, I appreciate you sharing it with us. And yeah, I've, so far in my life, I've been lucky enough not to have gone through that, but I cannot imagine, man. So our prayers are with you, brother.
Appreciate it, Tyler.
So yeah, the next one that I have for you then is, what is the most valuable piece of information we should know that's within your expertise or industry?
Definitely on this one, being the headhunter game, I think it's an extension of sales, because in sales, you have someone across from you. You convince them that they should buy your product for whatever reason. You sell the product. You walk away with some money in your pocket. When it comes to headhunting and recruiting, you're trying to hit two targets at once. You have your client, you have the folks that you're working with, and then you have your candidates that will hopefully fill these recs for you. And so beyond all else, the best thing I can do is follow up. I know we all know fortune's in the follow-up, but if I can make predictive decisions in front of other people, I know when we're going to get on a calendar. I know this person's going to like this person for whatever reason. As long as I'm the fastest person in this relationship and I follow up the best, I know I'm going to be successful, and I know my client and my candidates are going to be successful. So not just fortunes in the follow-up, but fortunes in quick or fast follow-up, I'd say.
And what is your best piece? It could tie in. What is your best piece of overall business advice, so not necessarily industry specific?
It's a tough one, because I only got into recruiting because I used to be a teacher and I was industry specific. But I guess my best piece of advice that I would have is, especially in sales careers, the first piece of this, first 3 months, 6 months, 8 months, doesn't matter how your comp plan works, doesn't matter what you're selling, who you're talking to. Sales is one of the hardest things to break into. And I see, people my age, and I see people younger and older than me that just can't get over that first hump, even when they get 99% of the way there. And so one thing I would say is perseverance in terms of your first 3, 6, 12 months at a job is the only way you're going to be successful in anything.
And if you could give your younger self one piece of advice, what would that be?
Learn how to use a computer the right way. I'm only 26 years old, and I'm already behind most of my peers just because, and I'd rather be on the phone and pushing things that way instead of being on a computer creating tomorrow. But if I could go back, I'd say, hey, the world's going to be a lot different even for you 12 years from now. And so do your best to be as techy as you can, because you're going to have multiple job offers and ways to change the world that, we didn't even know about yet. So definitely get more into tech.
And I couldn't agree more, man. And then in your opinion, kind of going a little bit down a different path, in your opinion, what is the key to happiness?
Man, the key to happiness is, I think everyone has a different scale of what the world is that they want to affect. It used to be when we were a little more primitive, or, from smaller towns like I grew up in, your scale extends to, your wife, your husband, your kids. And then as things have gotten better, we've gotten the ability to have the whole world as a stage. When people want to affect industries, people want to affect the world, they want to affect something that is their scale. And so my first piece, I guess, would be find the scale that you want to affect. I thought for a long time that I wanted to do, worldwide kind of things. And ultimately the thing that brings me the most happiness is providing for the family I'm building. And so my scale is a small one, but it's a very important one to me. And so if you can find your scale and then do everything in your power to help improve what you kind of put as your impact group, that's, I think, the purest form of happiness you can have.
And what is the best book that you've read, and what was the number one thing you learned from that?
I read too many books nowadays. But I'll always go back to my roots and go more for the fantasy world built types of novel things. And so my favorite author is a guy named Brandon Sanderson. If you haven't looked him up, the guy creates the most vivid and realistic worlds you'll ever see. And so my favorite of his is definitely the Mistborn trilogy, and the first book in that's Mistborn. And I guess the thing I learned from him, and actually has helped me in my career a little bit, is that whenever you put people that are different on the same path towards the same goal, you can ultimately achieve things that like-minded individuals can't. And I do that every day in my work, and I think that it's really exemplified by what Sanderson does in Mistborn and the rest of his works.
And what is your favorite quote and why?
That one changes every week, Tyler. I think, how about we go with, there's that old P.T. Barnum quote that I love about happiness, actually. I've actually put it on a podcast before. Oh, crud. I'm not going to be able to pull it off, Tyler. I've forgotten exactly how it goes. I know
okay.
I'm letting you down here.
No, you're not letting us down, man. It's all good. This podcast is fun, man.
That's what I'm thinking. So give me a second. I'll find it, but let's hit the next question, too.
Yeah, no worries. Well, that is actually, that's the second to last question. So the last one that I have for you while you're looking that up is where can our audience best find you and or connect with you online?
Great question. And so the quote, by the way, I found it out. I knew I was close to it. Is P.T. Barnum said that the noblest art is that of making others happy. And so I like that one, and I think it aligns to what I said about happiness earlier. But best way to find me online is going to be either at hireedu.com, hireedu.com. That's my business. But then on the other side, I'm on LinkedIn all the time, Spencer Peters with a master's of ed on the background. And then also, thanks to you, I can actually be found in one of the chapters of the new Better Business book. I think it just came out or is about to come out. And I think I'm right there nestled in the middle. So definitely pick that one up, because me and then the other 99 folks associated with it are really excited about how it turned out.
Yes, man. Dude, thank you again for coming on. We really appreciate it.
No worries, Tyler. Thanks for having me. Take care, bud.
The podcast you just heard was published with Anchor. Got something you want to say to the creator of this show? Send them a voice message using the Anchor app, free for iOS and Android.